back! UKYO face, strange music. The game knows. The game knows. August 3rd. There's something I wanted to ask you all day. I'm listening, although I can already guess. I'm sure you all recall the accident where Holly fell from that cliff and nearly died. Probably lost her memories in it. You all remember that, right? I'd like to thank you all for helping me during that time. Because of you, she was able to be saved in time and begin recovery. As you may know, at this time, I'm suspected by the police as having pushed her from the cliff. To be perfectly honest, this is a very troublesome misunderstanding. I'm sure you all saw her spending time with me very closely the entire day yesterday. Does this really seem like an attitude she would have towards her attempted murderer? What are you saying? You're the one who told her to stay close to you. Well, it's pretty obvious that you didn't try to kill her by pushing her off a cliff, at least. If you intended to do so, you would have come straight to us for help. You wouldn't have come straight to us for help. You would have gone to finish her off. Besides, that was more of a steep slope than a cliff. That's not good enough for a serious murder. You're extremely cool-headed. I doubt you wouldn't have realized those particular elements. That's why I believe we can trust you in this matter. So, what do you want us to do? I'd like you to help me prove my innocence. It seems the police have some sort of evidence that points to me as a suspect. I'd like to find that piece of evidence. After it's found, I would like to make it very clear that whatever evidence it is doesn't show I had any criminal intent. And that's the reason why I had this trip arranged for us. If we gathered all the members who were there, we could properly trace the events of that night. I'm sure as a group, we won't miss any vital clues along the way. That's what I believe. But what should we actually, do here, exactly? That's right. I don't mind talking about the events of that day, but I don't want to do anything dangerous. It's simple. You'll pair up in the same way you did that day, and go to the same places you went before. Since it's light outside now, we might be able to see things that we couldn't that night. Since the victim herself wasn't interested in pressing charges, the police haven't done a full-scale investigation yet. I think it's perfectly possible for everyone here to discover some new clues from that event. The same places as that day. Does that mean you intend to just sit around here? No, just like on the night of the accident, I'll go to the cliff with Holly. That's dangerous! For me? For the victim! I don't trust you! Let us not forget that you are the murderer that should be in prison. That's okay. Mine and UKYO will come too. Right? Yeah, if we're repeating our actions from that night, Mine and I went to search the top of the cliff after the accident. If it seems like I'm trying anything fishy, feel free to stop me by force. Alright, and if I seem like I'm doing anything weird, do the same. Huh? You know, just in case. Okay, yeah, sure. Holly, are you okay with this? Wouldn't it be better for us to go there? Yeah, it's fine. Good. Alright, since Toma and Sawa ran off alone like idiots that night, you two pair up for safety. Don't call us idiots. Anyway, if you find something, don't touch it, but take pictures. Good luck to all of you. Sounds interesting. I guess, although it looks like I'm doing a search with a dude again. I'd hoped that night was the end of that. Well, I'm just going to look around inside the premises, so if you want, we could... Let's go, Toma. That sounds good, Sola. UKYO and I are going with you to the cliff, right? It's gonna be great working with you all. Or all of you. Haha. I'll try not to get in the way. Yeah, we're going. It's all been decided without us. Nobody really made any objections to this. I wonder if they knew this would happen. They all came here knowing this would happen. I guess they're all kind of curious. At the very least, we can be sure that Shin isn't doing this out of amusement. I wonder what he's after, and what you should do. Wow, this forest is dark even during the day. You probably wouldn't be able to see anything here at night. So you slipped and fell from a place like this. Must have been scary. Hey, Holly. Do you remember anything walking around here? You walked here on that night too. Listen, the thing I want you to do today isn't search for evidence. I want you to reclaim your memories of what happened here. What? I mean, you want to reclaim your memories too, but that's the entire reason I brought you back to this lodge, even though it could be dangerous. In other words, I want you to remember that it wasn't me who pushed you off the cliff. If you have even a shred of doubt, what comes next will be even harder to do, so I want you to try. Shin sure is confident. He's perfectly fine with you remembering what happened. Do you feel the same way? Can you believe that Shin had no intention of pushing you? We're here. This is the place. Where did you fall off? The edge is nearby, right? It's light out, but it's still so hard to spot. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. It could have been dangerous for us to be looking around for her here that night. I'll take a look around. Be careful. I will go with you. For safety precautions. I was thinking of a way to lose them, but they left us alone on their own. Thank heavens. It was probably this tree. Stand over here for a second. Uh-oh. Hey! Hey, hey, hey. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have fun here. Him. Why'd you pick the same room as Sawa, idiot? Swap with Minnie. I'll leave my room too. What? You thought you were just coming here with friends? Do you not think ahead at all? This probably was what he was saying before. So I'm gonna go with the other option, which is probably what we said before. What are you saying? Go along with it, idiot. I'm reenacting the conversation. Think, what did you say in response to that? What did you do? What did I say afterwards? You should have heard it. You don't need to be scared. I didn't do anything to try and make you feel afraid. I was just playing around, isn't that right? If it wasn't for that cliff, nothing would have happened. Holly, something like this, that isn't gonna happen again. Don't be scared. It's okay to remember. I said I'd leave my room. What happened then? What was your reply? After that, I think I... Memory time! Why do you always say things like that? Do you have fun making me feel embarrassed? I'm not poking fun at you, I'm asking you seriously. It's actually kind of frustrating that you'd ask a question like that. Why is it frustrating? Just think, does this seem like something I joke about? Do you realize I'm your boyfriend? Besides, you followed me to a dark place like this. You think this is just some field trip? You know I'm always ready to have my way with you. I'm going back now. What if I said I won't let you? Stop it! Don't joke around! Oh, right. And then I ran off. Hey, we didn't come from over there. Don't run off, you'll get lost. Shin, you're the worst! Oh, really? Now, not that it matters. It's fine. You're just gonna treat me like a friend anyway. Sheesh, idiot. I told you that's the wrong... Huh? Huh? Ah! Ah! Holly? I remember. It's not your fault, Shin. Well, it's bad that you were teasing me, but you didn't try to make me fall. There's no mistake in that. Hey, you look pale. Did you remember something? Yeah, my heart's still racing. That was really scary. Sorry, I'm sure it was still scary, even if you weren't pushed off. Sorry for forcing you to remember this. But I'm glad I remembered. I know for sure now that you didn't push me, Shin. Now I can trust you completely. Hey, Orion! Huh? Oh, Orion! Phew, you finally heard me. That was surprising. I suddenly flew really far away from you. Was that thing you just saw a memory of this place? Seems like releasing that memory you sealed away out of fear really helped in separating us. Although it doesn't look like we've split completely yet. Hey, are you really okay? Your eyes look focused somewhere else. Ah, we've talked too much while Shin was still here. I just spaced out a bit from the memory. It's good you remembered, but if you space out too much you might fall again. Holly, Shin, we found something that looks like sliding marks, probably from where you fell. Could you come over here and check this area out? I'll be right there. Oh, over there is the direction you ran in the memory you just remembered. Yep, no contradictions there. That's good. This means you've totally solved the mystery of how you fell from the cliff in the first place. But then, who's the culprit Shin was talking about? And what did that person do? If they didn't push you from the cliff, then does that mean they did something down below? 1 hour later. Alright, I'd like to hear the results of everyone's search, if you don't mind. Very well, we'll start first. We found markings and traces likely left by the police at the scene where we found her. They're kind of small, but you can see them from photos on this camera. These kind of look like bloodstains. They are. Ew, that's like really gross. The issue is that the bloodstains are in 2 different places. Both stains are in a relatively wide area, so it's likely she collapsed in both for a decent period of time. If they're in 2 places, does that mean she woke up and moved to a different spot without knowing? Although that theory is a bit reaching, that could explain it. How does this explain any sort of malicious intent, though? Someone moved her. The most interesting of these were the bloodstains on a rock nearby. The blood appears to have been smeared. She received a blow to the back of her head, right? The position is just right for her head to have been hit with it. Couldn't it... Couldn't she have hit her head on it when she fell? That wouldn't be strange. That doesn't explain it. The traces of her sliding down the slope led into the other bloodstain. So you're saying that she woke up and moved to the other spot and then fell and hit her head? Still reaching, but more probable. It would explain the head trauma. You woke up and moved. Shin, you came for me. But I think the reason the police suspect malicious intent is based off this. If you think about it, the blow to the back of her head wasn't something that happened from merely falling onto the rock. There is a possibility that the suspect came to check if she was still alive after falling, was shocked to see her wake up, then shoved her onto the rock in an attempt to finish her off. That's what I would imagine, personally. That's like terrible. What do you think, Shin? Were you asked anything like that by the police? Yeah, they did ask me that. I see, so that's why. Hey, you already knew that! I'd like to add one more thing. Even if someone committed this crime, it doesn't seem like it was deliberate. I couldn't find any effort in trying to hide the bloodstains. I see. Thank you for the detailed analysis. That was very helpful. Unfortunately, we haven't managed to prove your innocence. Sorry. I suppose so, but I didn't expect it to be so easy. What about your group? You went to check the top of the cliff, right? Yeah, we didn't really find much, sorry. Let's see, we found the traces of her sliding off, then asked her if it matched her memories. That's about it. What we did see for sure was how well she and Shin were getting along. The lodge owner said the lodge owner and I don't really find anything either, so we came right back. What about you, Sao and Toma? Well, you see? Did you, find something? We acted separately that night, so we kind of just wandered around trying to remember what we did. But we did find something pretty crazy away from the scene. Here, look at this picture. It's a bloody handprint. It really does look that way. We found them here and there. I wonder if it's Holly's blood. That's pretty likely. If not, that means that someone else was bleeding really badly around here. Also, we found a bunch of footprints that looked like someone walked around the area here. They had worn away quite a bit, and they walked in the same place over and over, so it's hard to distinguish the shoe prints. The police might be able to figure it out. I think so too. Alright then, we should submit this evidence to the police. Wait just a minute. This makes it sound like there really is a culprit. Didn't we go searching for evidence to prove your innocence, Shin? What are these hand and footprints? It's almost like the person who pushed Holly was shaken and wandered around confused. Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. What about this evidence enough? What about that is evidence enough to prove anyone's innocent? This looks like evidence that Shin committed a crime. This is evidence to show that there really was a culprit. That does nothing to show that I'm the one who did it. Don't make excuses. If it wasn't you, then who was it? No idea. Maybe it was you? Anyway, now we can say this with near certainty. There was a culprit behind this incident. That culprit had some reason for knocking Holly out, then fled the scene while still upset. Seeing how clearly shaken they were, they didn't care about leaving hand and footprints and returned home. We have no idea why they didn't come forward. They might have just watched the police take me away. Of course, your clear understanding of what happened makes it highly likely that you're the suspect. I heard an interesting story. It seems that she could have been conscious after falling.
What? Really?
I don't know for sure. We should ask her. Holly, do you have any memories of the time right before you were rescued?
Someone tried to help me.
So, then who did it?
She doesn't seem to remember.
The only thing she can, recall is hearing someone call to her and getting up. We don't know who that person was, but it's almost certain that whatever happened, it was enough to strike a nerve in the culprit. But she had fallen from the cliff and was injured. She was likely asking for help. It wouldn't be normal for her to say something hurtful to the person trying to do that. That's just something we need to think about. You never know what could cause someone to snap. This is all too vague. It's possible you pushed her off the cliff intending to harm her, then noticed she was alive and tried to finish her off. That way of thinking would explain this far more easily, don't you think? It might be easier, but it wouldn't make sense. Everything we've been talking about says that her falling was not intentional. Even Holly, the victim, has been denying it from the very beginning. Yeah, I think we can say for sure that falling off the cliff was an accident. But we can't say the same about what happened afterwards.
But still, everything we've talked about makes you, Shin, seem really suspicious.
Yeah, I admit that suspicion is kind of on me. I'm kind of a suspicious guy.
It's not just a little. Nobody else had the time to do anything like that to her. You had as much time as you needed before calling us, but everyone else went off to search for her at the same time.
No, we weren't all together. If you remember, Sao and Toma went off on their own.
Huh? That's terrible. Are you suspecting Sawa now? Huh? So it's okay to suspect me?
I'm not suspecting anyone in particular. I'm just noting the possibilities. Just like Shin had the opportunity to commit the crime, Sao and Toma had their chance as well. While I was gathering everyone and giving directions, they had plenty of time for themselves. Just for the sake of fairness, I'll also say that it's possible that UKYO and I did it as well. We're the ones who sent everyone off to various places. Nobody would have seen us commit the crime. Now then, who exactly was it who committed this crime? Thank you very much for your fair and unbiased comments. Let's leave the rest to the police. I doubt we'd get anywhere if we tried to discover the culprit now. That's true. The sun is starting to set, so we should all just go home tomorrow. Let's copy the photos of the evidence, then have Kent, UKYO, and myself all hold on to a copy. That way, regardless of who the culprit was, it will reach the police through someone. Did you manage to find everything you were looking for? Thanks to everyone.
I don't like this. I didn't intend to come here for something like this.
Sorry, Minnie. I came here exactly for that.
In nighttime.